confusing. I am so confused. I don't know. The funny thing is, our consultancy is very busy right now, busier than ever, because everybody needs some sort of service. They need help with visibility. But what our job looks like in 2 years.
Today, I'm joined by Cyrus Shepard, one of the most recognized voices in SEO. He's the founder of Zippy SEO, a consultancy and software company that helps businesses improve their organic visibility. Cyrus was formerly the head of SEO at Moz, and he has consulted for startups and Fortune 500 companies. So I'm pretty sure you've heard his name. Enjoy today's episode. So yeah, welcome to the show that's yet to have a name, but maybe you could start by telling me, I already know what you do, but maybe it'd be great for people to know what it is you do and what's your role within the SEO world.
All right. Hello, and thank you for having me. My name is Cyrus Shepard. I am a longtime SEO working as a consultant. I spent a large portion of my career with the company Moz or SEO Moz back in the day, where I led SEO. I do a lot of SEO experiments that I publish online. That's kind of what I'm known for. Work with clients of all sizes and types, business types. So yeah, I'm very active on social media in the SEO world. I think a lot of people know me from that too. But that's what I do, working with clients, trying to increase visibility, and I'm okay at it. I think that sums it up.
Yeah, I wanted to say that you're more than known. You've been around the block for quite a long time and you're still very active, especially on LinkedIn, where I see you dropping a lot of gems and, you've been around talking about SEO, and it'll be great to actually know what your company does because you work with Zippy, right? You're a SEO consultant.
Zippy is our SEO consultancy. We're very small. It's mostly myself. I work with some contractors and my wife, who does amazing graphic design. So we work with a lot of startups and early stage technology companies due to my connections in Seattle. And these are mostly, startups just getting off the ground, service as a software SaaS companies. So that's the bulk of my consulting work. I also run Zippy List, which is a directory of marketing companies around the world. That takes a good chunk of my time. And I do my best to learn and distribute this information on social media through writing and things like that. And so that's what we do. Yeah. We usually have 5 or 6 clients at a time. Keeps us busy and keeps us on the pulse of what's happening in SEO.
Nice. So yeah, you're basically getting your word from your clients, but you're actively researching, you're actively applying as well. So you have your finger on the pulse. So I would actually like to ask, when it comes to consulting your clients, what has been your game plan now with AI and SEO and how it's kind of radically changed space? So what sort of in your playbook for your clients when you're taking on new clients, or how are you helping existing clients? Because I'm assuming AI is now a big part of any SEO strategy, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. I was talking to a reporter from the Wall Street Journal a couple of weeks ago. And I told her at the beginning of the year, beginning of 2025, my AI work was practically zero. And now it's 20-30% of everything I do, specifically trying to appear in AI overviews or AI answers. And I think by the end of the year, it's going to be 70 or 80% focusing on that, because it's changing so rapidly. And 2 weeks ago, my answer to that question would have been different. The most striking thing is that for clients with informational content, we are seeing declines on that informational content. E-commerce content is doing fine. Services are doing fine. But so many of the sites that we work with are just seeing declines in click-throughs that it's affecting everybody. And it's an industry-wide phenomenon. So things are changing so fast right now, it's hard to know where we're putting our energies, and we're learning as we go.
You mentioned informational content. So is that safe to assume like blogs?
Blog content. Yeah. Blog content that's just informational. The way I like to describe it is, if you can write the article with AI without having any sort of proprietary knowledge, that's exactly the kind of content that we're seeing a decline. Content with lots of images and that's doing a lot better. If there's a reason, if you have something that nobody else has, that content seems to be doing okay, but pure informational content is a little rough right now.
You're seeing a lot of your clients. I find this very interesting because a lot of your clients that you have right now, I'm assuming with SEO, you're trying to get a lot of written content out there. So you're radically having to change their business model, maybe like their not business model, sorry, but their marketing model distribution so that it's better served for LLMs. And I read that the Wall Street Journal article that you were talking about, and you were actually mentioning Gumshoe AI, and I would love to know more about, because, and a bit of context for people listening out there. Um, you mentioned that you have been trying a lot of different AI tools, AI analytic tools for SEO, and I'm wondering how this kind of helps the companies that you're working for with their new marketing distribution and like organizing their content, etc. And also, yeah, your relationship with Gumshoe AI. Maybe we can like talk about that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So Gumshoe, there are a number of tools out there that are tracking AI visibility, and these tools often have suggestions how to appear more often in AI answers. Gumshoe AI, wonderful company out of Seattle that I'm connected to through some Moz connections up there. I've been working with them. I might be a little biased, but great company. I run reports with them every week. They have a free tool that anybody can use. These tools do, like Gumshoe, which I think is a wonderful product, is they ask lots and lots of questions to these AI search engines, Google, Perplexity, ChatGPT, about your brand. They pretend to be like a real person. I'm a research professor. What's the best brand for this? And they see how often you appear for multiple questions, and they can track your presence in AI answers. Then they sort of reverse engineer why those brands appear in AI overviews, and they give you suggestions how you can make your content a little more friendly for those AI overviews. It's a new emerging technology. There's lots of moving parts. Things are changing rapidly, but I do enjoy running those visibility reports every week for my clients.
and have you seen any sort of like uptake from making use of these tools? Have they been like credible?
Uh,
Have they been useful for you to
yeah,
use them in your day to day?
Yeah, they're absolutely. One of the things that, we found with Gumshoe, I have some clients who are attorneys who always want to be listed in like the best attorney for X. And we found that changing information about the attorneys on their homepage, saying this is an expert in this, they are recognized by this, and making it very clear for the AI search tools to parse that information on the homepage. We just basically put our about content, and we put it on the homepage, and we're saying we're an expert. That made a clear difference in Google AI overviews, almost instantaneously. So these recommendations can be useful. The challenging part is, for a lot of these AI, you just want to appear in as many places as you can. And pumping out content and best 10 lists and things like that, it can be a lot of work. It's hard to all the time. So some of the suggestions are super useful. Some are really hard. It's just like do better marketing everywhere. But I think the tools are getting better, and we're learning as an industry as we go.
Nice. And as you said, like with the suggestions, they get harder because of like execution, right? It's still relatively labor intensive to sort of like be everywhere,
Yeah.
all these things, etc. It'll be interesting to get your thoughts on AI agents. Have they helped to, you know, reduce your workload, help you sort of like, apply more things for your marketing tactics, your SEO improvement tactics, etc. The suggestions that you get. How do you feel about AI agents in general? And have you been using any from any tools?
So it's funny, right before we were talking, I had two windows open. I had Gemini doing some deep research. I had Chat GPT doing deep research on a couple of topics, and those windows just churning. I'm like, holy cow, we are so living in the future. I do use agents for some work. I'm learning just like everybody else. I mean, I feel I'd love to tell you I'm an expert in agentic AI, but it's something I can barely explain to my dinner companion sometime. So it's new and it's emerging. I think if we have this conversation in 6 months, it's going to be completely different. It's changing so quickly. And people like you and I are a little bit on the forefront. When we look at our analytics and we talk to people like my parents, AI isn't even on their radar. There's a huge portion of the world that is just searching Google and Bing the way they used to all the time, and their behavior hasn't changed. So I think it's easy to get caught up in, adoption mania, but really folks like you and I are, we're kind of early adopters, even if it's not 100% of our day. So yeah.
I see. So you're still just kind of testing out the whole AI agent scene. And if you kind of could use an AI agent while you're still like, playing about, what kind of like AI agent would you use day to day for your work, like for your team currently?
That's a really interesting question. I'm really impressed with what the folks at AirOps are doing. That's another AI tool that helps you scale tasks and things like that. They have a really neat drag and drop interface like a lot of these tools do. I can't say that I use a lot of agents in my daily work, SEO work right now. It's still a lot of using AI to assist in the tool process, but I'm not going out there. I don't have automated tasks that are going out there and running every day. So it's a new process for me.
Understood. I see. I'm just very interested to know kind of what's going on in this space and how people are actively working on it. Also, probably because you don't really need to be a super technical person to adopt it, right? And especially as
Right.
business owners, like you have a consultancy, I'm assuming you also maybe probably do some implementation for clients. Do you work with freelancers? I'm assuming as well.
When I need to hire freelancers, yeah, we do that, especially on the technical SEO front. I
Mhm.
also hire freelancers for link building and sorry,
Mm.
that was a non-interesting answer.
No, it is interesting because it's kind of understanding how your company works, how your SEO world is, and how AI is going to basically affect that, which I find very interesting because everyone's using it in different ways. But yeah, back to that. So you were saying that you do work with freelancers, etc., like for certain SEO tasks. So when you are playing around with these agents or any other LLM, like these LLMs to try and automate certain things, are you thinking of automating these tasks that eventually, this sounds a bit dark, but like that would take over these employees' work? Or are you just currently focused on your workload as opposed to automating, other people in your team or your extended team?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So I am not replacing anybody, but I know this is happening in a lot of agencies, in a lot of environments. Certain jobs, especially copywriters and graphic designers, I'm seeing a lot more companies shut down those departments, especially if they were. And this doesn't necessarily have to do so much with AI, but what we've seen Google do in the last couple of years with re-ranking informational type content, rewarding certain players, not rewarding other players. I've seen a lot of companies just shut down that were working in the informational content space, affiliates, travel sites, coupon sites, things like that. Those shifts, which are related to AI, but not necessarily directly, have had hugely consequential impact on a lot of people working in informational content marketing. And it's been rough. And I think we're in for more of that over the next year or two.
Definitely, it's changing the game. Yeah, I would like to actually maybe shift to talking more about, because I'm very interested also in your tool set, toolkit, because you are mentioning that you're testing out a few different tools. You're also like openly talking about like, stuff that you're working with, especially on LinkedIn. So, what are maybe some of your go-to, and not the LLMs, but maybe like tools that do have AI in them that you're currently using or testing out, that you'd like to
That's a
mention?
I feel like we've talked about we should talk about keyword research and how it's changing.
No, we can move to that for sure, but maybe you can
Yeah.
mention some tools, and then we can also talk about keyword research. Yeah.
So what we talked about LMs, it's interesting. I have a GPT that I built in Chat GPT, and I'm thinking about making this public because it takes a lot of the AI suggestions that we get from, Gumshoe or whatever, and for some other places. And I just have it look at a piece of content and generate suggestions. It's cheap, it's free. It's something I do with almost all of my clients. What do I call it? AI overview optimizer. I should share it with you when we're done. You could let me know what you think about it.
I would love
Uh,
to.
but the tools that I use from day to day have not changed that much since, over the last 5 or 10 years. Google Search Console and their API is probably my number one go-to tool that I use. AI has made it easier to connect. I'm not an overly technical person, so makes it easier to connect to their API. The basic web tracking tools out there. I've been enjoying some of the other content optimization tools. Ahrefs released a content optimizer that I really like. I think it's better than anything we've seen to date, and I use it frequently. But yeah, the tools have pretty much stayed the same, especially brain.
So the strategy is, I mean, the tools are helping you execute your strategy. You don't kind of
Yep.
find the need to add anything new besides the LLMs, of course, because they've radically
Yeah.
changed the space.
What
But many other players have come in and like taken your attention.
there's this huge dilemma in the marketing space because on one hand, if you're on social media, if you're working content marketing, you're seeing ad after ad after ad or social media posts telling you how to automate everything. At the same time, we see Google and other search engines reduce the incentive to automate everything because that's exactly the kind of content that we're seeing lower rankings for. Automated, AI produced spam, basically getting devalued. So I don't want to automate everything. The content that we're seeing really rise and really get attention that people want to link to, that Google wants to reward. That's the stuff that's not being automated at all. Maybe you're using AI to, help with something, but it has that human element, that curated element, that edited element that they're trying to reward. So it's a conflict. I don't want to automate everything. That's not why I got into this business. I want to create content that's awesome. I want people to link to it, to read it. I don't want it to be summarized in an AI answer. I want people to actually visit my website. So this whole new world of marketing automation, it's great. It's a wonderful tool, but I don't want it to take away from why I got into this profession in the first place.
Love how you spoke about curation. Now it's no longer like, with the help of AI, it's no longer just writing something from scratch, as a copywriter, etc. You're actually curating content from different sources and chat GPT as well. So being a
Yeah.
curator helps with the authenticity in order for you to rank. Is that kind of like your
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm getting this question nearly every day about, from clients, should we use AI for content generation? And there are many things to consider when answering that question. One, Google has some policies in place against mass-produced AI, and that doesn't really do well. But at the same time, we see AI content ranking all the time. But then there's a third consideration in that earlier this year, Google started instructing its quality raters. Quality raters are human evaluators all over the world. There's thousands of them that look at your web pages and score them. They started instructing quality raters to look for auto-generated content, AI content. And the theory is once Google starts asking quality raters to look for those things, in about a year, it usually takes them a year to work it into their algorithm, you might start seeing a decline in rankings if your content looks like it's obviously AI generated. We don't know. But so what I tell clients is that it looks like AI content is fine, but you should have something in it that AI can't replicate. And that might be leveraging a webinar library or human interviews or custom graphics that AI can't generate. You have to have something, your proprietary data. If you're a manufacturer, you go into your parts warehouse, you have all that, information. You need to be using AI to supplement your content, not just generating it raw, because that content probably doesn't have a very long shelf life. So I don't remember what the question was, but I started rambling and I hope there was something useful in there.
No, it's in line. It's in line because I was talking about AI curation, right? Like with
Yeah,
content curation using AI.
yeah.
And what you mentioned, putting in proprietary data, I see that a lot online. But what is that actual data? And I think you gave some really good examples of like what you can include
Yeah.
in
So
your content to make sense for it
even
to
before,
AI BS test.
yeah, even before AI exploded, we had Google's helpful content update, which really hit a lot of content sites. And what we found when we did a lot of data analysis on this, the sites that won those updates or didn't get hit as hard really demonstrated firsthand experience. So that was like if it's a travel site, they should have pictures of themselves, high quality photos of themselves, in the location and explaining things that other travel sites weren't, like opening times for restaurants and things like that. Hard data and experience that an AI couldn't write because an AI can't travel to Italy or things like that. And the sites that were just pumping out articles, best 10 places to visit in Orlando, those were not doing well. But the sites that with unique proprietary information, they were doing well. And that is independent of AI, but it's definitely the direction that Google has headed over the last couple of years.
Nice. That was very useful. I'd like to quickly actually move on to the last segment and also, yeah, which is, I like to call this rapid fire. It's not
Okay.
really rapid. I don't expect one word answers, but more like one sentence, your hot take basically on the questions that I have.
The hotter, the better.
Yes. So I'll start. Okay. So do you use LLMs outside of work or just on the job?
All the time. I probably use them more outside of work than on work.
So they're basically helping you make all decisions for your life, meal prep.
Yes, I'm really into health research. So I'm always trying crazy experiments, and I've started testing supplements at home with all sorts of different chemistry experiments. I'm not a chemist, but I can do a lot of these things with LLMs guiding me step by step, and it's been great fun.
Nice. So you're being your own chemist or GPT informed chemist, back chemist. Next one. What's one SEO task you never want to do manually again?
A task I hope to never do again in SEO is manually writing content briefs. Title tag, your first paragraph, second heading. Those are so tedious and they take so long. And by the time you're done, you've practically written the article. So those aren't my most fun.
That's a good one. Yeah. I do the same as well. It's amazing how it saves so much time. Next is most overhyped SEO trend in the AI era.
Probably the most overhyped trend right now is appearing as a source in AI overviews. Everybody's like, they have no click-through rate. So everybody's working really hard to appear as a source in AI overviews, but we don't know the value of that. And even for clients I know who are ranking up there, it's less value than it used to be just ranking number one. So Google is saying, hey, you want to appear there? I don't know how valuable it is, but we're still doing it because we have nowhere else to go.
So we'll check back in a couple of months and see if there's any use in that. What's one AI feature or product you wish existed?
So we talked a little bit about agentic search, agentic AI. I'm really excited about what will come out in the next 6 to 12 months. Right now, the tools are if you want to build your own agents to go out and surf the web and do shopping for you, they're a little rough, but I think in a year, they're going to be great. So I would love to just tell an AI agent, hey, I'm looking for this particular chemical. Can you source it, buy it, have it delivered to my house? By next week, give me the best options, monitor UPS, answer the door, all those sort of things when the doorbell rings. But it's happening so fast, but it's not quite there yet.
I see. So you'd be happy to use any service that creates an AI agent as an AI assistant.
Yeah. And these systems exist. They're just they're a little rough to use as of yet.
I find this interesting, so I'm just going to, even though it's a rapid fire round, I'm just going to expand on it a bit. Because there are, personally from your experience, have you used tools like make.com or N8N? I used to call it N8N, N8N. These sort of like Zapier tools to sort of like create your own agents essentially.
Yeah.
You've been kind of put off by it because it seems like it requires.
Yeah. If you're looking to get into agents, I recommend following Dharmesh Shah, who the founder of HubSpot. Great guy. He's doing a lot. He's with agents. It's kind of his next thing. And he's got a lot of agents. He's got a site where he's published like thousands and thousands of agents. It's a great place to start. And if anybody's interested in learning more about agents, that's where I would go.
Definitely check that out. Okay, we'll resume the rapid fire. There's only like 4 more questions. What's your most underrated AI use case in SEO right now?
There are so many. Right now, one thing I'm enjoying is working with embeddings and automating that. So I have some little tools where page embeddings have been around a long time, and vectorization, but they're basically 3-dimensional representations of any topic. The idea being like, if you take the concept of man, you can map that in a 3-dimensional space and combine it with the concept of royalty, you get king. If you subtract man and put woman, you get queen. And so this is kind of how search engines have been working for a long time. But now with AI, we have some tools to sort of automate this and see how keywords and pages exist in this 3-dimensional space. So that's been something fun I've been experimenting.
So it's sort of like, I know previously it was maybe like latent semantic index. Is it LSIs and stuff where they had those like corpus of words and oops.
Yeah. So that would be.
Or is it different?
Yeah. The problem with SEOs is we're generally about 5 to 10 years behind Google. And I don't know if Google uses versions of latent semantic indexing anymore. Everything's vectorization now, but they've been doing it for so long. And now the SEO world is just catching up like it's a brand new thing, even though Google has been doing it for years and years and years.
Okay. A favorite tool you didn't expect to love?
A favorite tool I didn't expect to love. I think I mentioned it earlier, but I did not expect to love the Ahrefs content optimizer because I hate content optimization tools because that's the problem with the internet. Everybody is using the same optimization tool, so all the content looks the same, and it's a problem. But I kind of like what they did there. It's a pretty cool tool. Shout out to Ahrefs. You owe me a t-shirt.
They do. AI agents, overkill or overdue? So I'm assuming it's overdue because you seem to be excited for what's coming next.
Yeah, as they mature, it's really exciting. And the thing of it is, I mean, eventually AI agents will just be seamless in our lives. So we'll just tell our phone what to do, and the AI agents will just go out there and do it. Your browser will be an AI agent that just performs tasks. And you won't need an agent for every single task. You'll just create them on the fly, and you won't have to have special knowledge. You're not going to need coding knowledge. You're not going to need a special account. It's just going to be part of the Google, Microsoft, Chat GPT experience that agents are just everywhere.
The future, basically, yeah. Next question, build or buy your AI workflows?
Little combination of both. So I have subscriptions to like everything, all the $20 subscriptions to all the AI tools. I don't use a lot of specialized AI tools, except for maybe Gumshoe, which I think is pretty cool that we talked about. But yeah, I think we're trying to figure it out.
Okay, and last question in the rapid fire round. One word to describe the future of SEO.
Confusing. I am so confused. I don't know. The funny thing is, our consultancy is very busy right now, busier than ever, because everybody needs some sort of service. They need help with visibility. But what our job looks like in 2 years, I don't really know. So it's evolving so quickly. I do know that people are always going to need marketing. They're going to want to promote their brand or product. They're going to want to get the word out there. So marketing survives, SEO survives. Just how it looks, I'm not so sure.
We'll check back in half a year and see how your workflow changes, how your clientele changes, what you're offering. That'll be interesting to see. And yeah, Cyrus, maybe you can talk more about what would you like the people to know about what you're working on, where we can find you, any projects that you would like,
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Blue Sky, loving Blue Sky.
Sorry, I'm interrupting you about Blue Sky because I've been on it, but I've not really found maybe the SEO community I'm looking for. But are you quite active on Blue Sky? And do you feel like there's a growing community?
It's a growing community. If you look me up on Blue Sky, I have an SEO starter pack of people in the SEO industry to follow. Many social media communities are in their early days. It's a warm, welcoming environment. That could change in a couple of years as it gets spam, but I think it's a good direction.
Nice. And sorry, I interrupted. You were saying you were on Blue Sky, on LinkedIn.
Oh, Blue Sky, LinkedIn. And if you're looking for a marketing company to hire, check out Zippy list. We take great pride in curating that list. We reject close to 50% of the people who apply because they just don't meet the bar. So we think it's a good curated list of reputable marketing companies around the world.
Awesome. Yeah, that's basically it. I think we've covered all the bases. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. I always let's do it more frequently.